For climbers, there is Everest. For underwater explorers, the Titanic. For surfers, the North Shore. For drivers, there's the Nurburgring. Most difficult racetrack in the world. Ever since it was built over 80 years ago, it's been a mecca for those who love to drive.
It's one of the most famous tracks in the world.
Everybody knows about the Nurburgring if you're into cars.
One of the probably the most historic racing car circuits in the world.
Just look around me. It's every boy's ultimate dream.
It's a one-way road that's de-restricted in Germany, and it's the most unique place in the world.
Unforgiving.
Frightening.
Moments of sheer terror.
Very scary.
The most fun you ever have in your life.
A typical racetrack is 2 or 3 miles long with 12 corners. The Nürburgring, on the other hand, is over 13 miles long and has, depending on how you count them, at least 72 corners.
It's a track full of elevation changes, difficult to remember every turn. Many of them are blind.
Umpteen dozen changes of surface and camber and what have you.
It's very pretty in some ways. Very scenic, very green, very German looking.
You've got bends that go down, you've got bends that go up.
And it just goes on forever and ever and ever.
It's the most complicated road in the world.
Hochhacher. Flugplatz. Adenauer Forst. Exmühle. The Carousel. Wippermann. Schwalbenschwanz. Every turn at the ring has its own name. It's said that it takes 100 laps around the Nürburgring just to learn where they all are. But to master them, that takes considerably longer.
So the whole track, because it's so long, more than 20 kilometers, it's hard to drive because you have to recognize every single corner and everything looks the same in the forest.
The Nürburgring is so long and covers such a variety of terrain that it's possible for a driver to experience 2 or 3 seasons of weather in a single lap. On many evenings and weekends, the ring is opened up to anyone with 16 euros, a street-legal car, and the courage to drive it. New exotic sports cars, old econo boxes, motorcycles, and scooters all line up for a turn.
This is wild. It's beyond imagination.
So I just went sideways and then backwards and then got very, very, very close to the side of the track, but too close.
So where were you on the ring?
The second corner.
Oh, so right away.
Just lost it badly.
We just went for a ride with Dirk. Dirk took me one time around the ring. Used every muscle in my body just to be sitting still in the back seat of the car. Just tossed around like a rag doll.
Ozzy pulled out all the stops on this one. We left the Corvette standing. It was kind of embarrassing. We felt bad for it.
What's your fascination with the track?
The need for speed, the old cliche.
Keep wanting to go faster.
I mean, I just love driving. I mean, I'm a petrol head through and through and through.
It's just funny to see the other guys, you know. Sometimes they have a bicycle on the roof, so the whole family is in the car, including dog, and just to watch the people, you know, it's fun.
A lot of people here for the history. You see there's a lot of people just standing around, not really going on the tracks. There's a lot of history behind the track.
How did the ring come about? For that, you have to go back over 80 years. After years of racing on public roads, by the 1920s, it was clear Germany and her car companies needed a permanent track to race and test their cars. The area around the town of Nurburgring in the Eifel Mountains was chosen for its challenging terrain and to give the economically depressed area a boost.
The ring was built from 1923 until 1927. At this time, you know, it was everything just forest. The people didn't have a job here, and so they have built something where 4,800 people was building the ring for 4 years, and they have had a job for it.
Der Stein soll ja die Tradition des Nürburgrings etwas herausstellen. Mein Vater hat also eine kleine Werkstatt hier in Nürburg gehabt. Die wurde dann später zu einer BMW-Vertretung. Er ist sehr bekannt geworden durch die BMW 700er Autos. Also wir sehen hier eingemeißelt, das soll darstellen, das Formel 1 BMW Auto unter Nelson Piquet, wo er 83 Weltmeister geworden ist.
During the ring's glory days as a Grand Prix circuit, Sterling Moss, Phil Hill, Jackie Stewart, and Emerson Fittipaldi all raced here in front of crowds that numbered in the hundreds of thousands. By the 1960s, however, engines had grown bigger and the cars faster. Many drivers felt the twisting, narrow track of the ring was just too dangerous. Jackie Stewart dubbed it the Green Hell. Despite attempts to make it safer, after a number of accidents, including the fiery crash of Niki Lauda in 1976, the ring's days as a Grand Prix circuit were over.
There we are. That is Sterling Moss. He was the first one who have signed here. Here we have got the corner from Michael Schumacher, and over there is Stuck, you know, the famous German driver, actually. Stuck, over there.
Mein Opa hat das gebaut, die seit 1929 hier an diesem Ort besteht. Und ja, eine Story hier vom Nürburgring ist, ich glaube, es war 1972. Da waren hier Testfahrten für Formel 1. Direkt hier gegenüber hörte ich, dass ein Formel 1-Wagen stehen blieb. Ich bin dann dort hochgelaufen, hinter diese Büsche, und ich sah dann, dass es Emerson Fittipaldi war, Weltmeister von damals. Ja? Und er hatte kein Benzin mehr. Ich habe dann einen Benzinkanister geholt, mein Fotoapparat, und bin dann zu ihm hochgelaufen. Und wir haben dann den Lotus betankt. Und er ist wieder eingestiegen und ist dann auch wieder weitergefahren. Ne? Ich glaube, sein Manager, Domingos Piedada, hat den Sprit später hier an der Tankstelle bezahlt. Ich hätte nichts haben wollen.
Over the 80 years of the ring's history, BMW has set many records. One of the most impressive came in 1966, when Hubert Hanna became the first touring car driver to lap the ring in less than 10 minutes in a BMW 2000 Ti. Another record was set in 1998. Hans Stuck, a BMW racer since the 70s, and his teammates piloted the first diesel-powered car to ever win a 24-hour race. Thanks to the superior performance of their BMW 320d and the fact that they didn't have to refuel as often as gasoline-powered cars, they ended the race with a 6-lap lead over the nearest competitor. Ever since, efficient diesel-powered cars have been some of BMW's biggest sellers in Europe. The Nürburgring is often said to separate the men from the boys. However, one woman drives it better than anyone else. Her name is Sabine Schmitz, and no one knows this place as well as she does.
I did on the Nordschleife more than 19, close to 20,000 laps. We did the ring always with my dad, and I was half a year old maybe. So it's like the way to school, you know. I know every single corner, so I never had to learn the track. Yeah, I went shopping sometimes with my grandma or my sister. We took my mom's BMW. She had a 325, quite quick. Yeah, I'm racing since 18 years, and I was quite successful here at the Nurburgring. I won twice a 24-hour race, the long-distance championship in front of 420 men. They were quite disappointed. It's the best test track here because the suspension has to work so hard. You have top speed, corners, and very long straight. You have everything you need, and they say 100 kilometers on a track are more than 100,000 kilometers on a normal road.
If the ring is hard on drivers, it's murder on their cars. A set of new high-speed tires is shredded in 2 or 3 laps. Brake pedals retreat to the floor, and engines sometimes give up altogether. The entire life of a vehicle can be simulated in just a few weeks on the ring.
The Nürburgring is the best track of the world, the fastest track, the longest track, and for sure the most tricky track. This heritage is the reason why BMW comes here to test their cars.
BMW came to the ring in the 1960s. Working out of a local BMW garage, the company found it to be the perfect place to refine a car not just for racing, but also for the real world. Other car companies have since come to the ring to test, but BMW was the first to open a permanent testing center here. And they are still the only car company to subject every new car they make to the unique stresses of the ring.
The Nürburgring, you can call it the home or the birthplace of all BMWs. We believe that everything that excels here excels everywhere.
Normal racetrack in the world, it's about, let's say, 5 km long, and this one here, it's over 20 km long.
The ring throws many forces at the car. It covers some 900 feet of vertical elevation change, so the load of the car, the forces that the car has to deal with, they increase from one moment to the other in a very dramatic way.
You have a lot of up and down hills, you have slow sections, you have quite fast sections, you have parts you will never find on another track in the world.
The most unique feature of the Nürburgring is a 180-degree hairpin turn known as the carousel. With its steep 30 degrees of bank, the weight of a car literally doubles as it drives through this challenging section of the ring. By testing on the carousel, BMW has learned that every pound shaved off a car yields significantly better performance on the road. In fact, BMW considers testing at the ring so important, they've built a Nürburgring simulator so they can subject axles, wheels, and tires to the world's most grueling racing conditions 24 hours a day.
The Nürburgring is pivotal to our company. Very glad and appreciative that we have this track.
On this track we have a lot of situations from all over the world, very compressed in nearly 21 kilometers.
In a single lap at the Nürburgring, you have so many different dynamic situations. Smooth sections of asphalt, bumpy sections of asphalt. You have turns where you have the banking working for you. You have turns where the banking works against you. And we find that if we can make a car that does well here, we end up with a vehicle that both handles very well, but also rides very well.
The ring has defined no cars as sharply as those from the BMW M division. The M1, M3, and M5 are just a few of the legendary cars born and bred on the ring.
A performance car, like the M cars all are, has to comply with many different situations. Of course, it has to have a great engine, great brakes, great suspension, because this track is so demanding at what it throws at the cars. And only once it passes all our requirements here in terms of reliability and lap times, we'll call it an M car.
One of the latest M cars developed on the Nürburgring is the new 500 horsepower M6. Race car driver Hans Stuck recently got the chance to put the M6 through its paces on the German Autobahn.
Okay, now I show you acceleration of M6. We are now third gear, about 84 miles, and now we go. Fourth gear, 105 miles per hour. 130 miles per hour, fifth gear. Sixth gear, 160, 163, 166, 170, 172, 3, 4, 5, 180 miles per hour. And then we go to seventh gear, to top gear, 185 miles per hour, 187, 188, 190 miles per hour, 92, 194. And now we have to slow down and see how fantastic those brakes are.
The latest BMW car to be perfected at the ring isn't a car at all. It's the completely redesigned BMW X5 sports activity vehicle.
The X5 that everybody knows and loves, when it came into the marketplace, it really set new standards for the way a vehicle drives and handles, especially in the form factor an SUV, or as we call it, a sport activity vehicle.
Thanks to its active safety features such as intelligent dynamic stability control with rollover sensor and new run-flat tires, the new X5 not only makes for an exhilarating driving experience, it also makes for a safe one.
The new X5 feels like a passenger car, a very great handling like a sports car, a very good comfort like a sedan.
We decided we would make it a little bigger, so we seat 7 now. The project manager cut his teeth designing race cars, and we've worked together for many years on many different things, including racing programs. So when you look underneath the X5 and you see all those basically racing-inspired parts, you understand why it handles so well, why it drives so well.
The X5 has always had a reputation for performance. In 2001, Hans Stuck smashed the 8-minute mark in a specially prepared X5.
The existing X5 took the world by storm when it came. When this X5 comes into the marketplace, we'll see the same thing.
I come here generally in my BMW E30 M3, but with my one all I've done is stiffened up the springs and the struts, upgraded the brakes and the power of the car just so it handles better and it's safer through the corners. I come every year with the BMW Car Club. We have driver tuition from racing drivers, and they split the track into 15, 16 sections. And you walk the track, you drive it with them, they advise you, and that's how you learn.
The ring's endless twists and turns make it the ideal location for advanced driver training. Since BMW opened their school here, students from nearly every country in the world have come here to discover how far they can push themselves and their cars.
We have different levels of trainings, from the foundation level up to the expert level. What we do over here, we introduce the track. Where is the ideal line? Where are some points you have to look at? You really have time to stop the car, to speak about the different places.
Because it's so long, you can't imagine the whole track in one piece. So they make some section and you can turn around, and that's much easier with the instructor in front. And it makes really sense to do a driver training.
It's always a bit different when you come over here. Then you will find out more and more details about the track. The track is changing also, because sometimes they put new asphalt on. I would say after 100 laps you know a little bit about the track.
Steady. I have never been anywhere so fast in my life.
For drivers who can't muster the courage to drive the ring themselves, there's another option, the BMW Ring Taxi. For 180 euros, 3 people can take a lap around the ring as passengers in the world's fastest taxi.
I'm going on the Ring Taxi. I got this as a present last year for my birthday.
and I'll probably get car sick, so I had bought these pills too. I can't really, well, I can't talk. Not a good moment. No, not going to the bathroom. Not yet. We're doing a couple 100 miles an hour right now. I'll have to call you back.
The Ring Taxi is a very old institution, since 15 years here on the Ring, and you can buy a ticket, come to the track and just do a hot lap. So it's really good fun. We do a little bit sideways, show the people car control, what you can learn in the BMW driver training. I start driving and I stood there with my taxi and they say, oh, I don't go out with a woman, you know? I want to have some money back and stuff like that happens. Very funny stories. And after 3 years, I was famous and every morning the people just were waiting at the ticket account.
Smell by the tyres and the brakes that it wasn't a slow drive.
Well, you really don't have time to be afraid. You're working on concentrating on keeping the contents of your breakfast down.
For those of you who hasn't tried this, you got to do it.
Amazing! She's fantastic!
Yeah, excellent, amazing ride. Best ride I've ever been on so far.
You don't understand it until you've done it.
It's unbelievable. I can't explain it.
It's addictive. Once you come here and you know what you're doing, it's just fantastic to go out there and go round. There's nothing like this in the world. Nothing. That's why we all come here.